Hello and welcome. This is a little bit about the Mercury Retrograde. I did mean to put this in the forecast at the weekend, but I forgot. Dozy Mary. Migraine alert, and sometimes the brain doesn't always work or kick in. But a few of you have asked about property or home life. A lot of the comments are in two minds about moving. Where am I moving to? We've hit a Mercury, or the shadow of a Mercury retrograde, and it's a little bit more significant than other times. We have a Mercury retrograde and everyone goes boo to them about 3 times a year, because Mercury is, you always have to think it's connected to Virgo, which is about the details of life. It's also perhaps the rulership or connected towards Gemini, which is your mental mind and your thoughts. Mercury retrograde is always about revisiting, relooking, reviewing, reconsidering, a time to mull and rethink things. Now, it went into the shadow the weekend just gone, the 24th of May. Now, if you remember, on the 24th of May, I've talked about Saturn in the sky talking to Jupiter, and it's taken a long time to get to that point. Saturn is your taskmaster, but remember, Saturn is in Scorpio, so it's all about your finances, the divorce, the money, the reproductive needs, tax, inheritance, money. The Jupiter aspect is about home, real estate, property, your parents, the roots of your life. Now, we went into the shadow on that same day, so it kind of picks up a bit like knitting or a knitting needle. It picks up on that when it starts it, when it walks that path. It kind of carries Jupiter and Saturn with it. So you're going to be carrying home and real estate, your parents, the roots of your life, looking for safety and security with you. I always say, never make a big decision. Think about it. Never make a decision in a Mercury retrograde. Never sign anything. Never commit to anything. It brings delays. It brings PC breakdown, phones, computers, cars. It brings the techie issues. So as we walk the path in the shadow, you're already walking along a certain pathway, but it's the shadow. It's a little bit, things start to feel a bit vague. You're not getting the clarity. It's not clear. Now, Jupiter is your home. It's also in Cancer. So Cancer is water related. So we're already having an emotional feeling or thought, or wishy-washy thought sometimes. When we start the proper Mercury retrograde, and it's meant proper, I kind of think the shadow, anything goes. The shadow can start people coming back in from your past, past thoughts, past actions. But when we start the actual tangible on the 7th of June, again, it starts in Cancer. So when the planet is meant to be going backwards, but it never is, it has a feeling of going backwards, it can go back into old properties, it can go back into your property, that water-related issues. If you had a leak last year, if you had a flood in your property last year, I'll give you a warning that I think when it starts in a water situation, it can bring floods and leaks to your home. Now, in the UK, where I am from this, I've got an old house, and it has rained the last couple of days, and I have already had the leaks coming in. It could actually get worse. Not that I want to think that way, but I'm expecting that, and that's the heads up. We may well hear of floods around the world, because I do think it brings back water. It's regurgitated it, if you like, back into the home. So look at floods and things. So again, the retrograde is already taking you backwards, and again, home, Cancer, real estate. So again, a lot of rethinking and relooking. Now, when we get to the 17th of June, Mercury will go back into Gemini to finish the remainder of the retrograde. So Gemini is your thought patterns, your ideas. It's the reviewing, it's the relooking at the remainder of the retrograde. And when you get that aspect, you'll start to rethink about, for some of you who said, I'm not sure, I'm in two minds, what am I doing? You'll start to think on a more clear level on the 17th of June onward, till you get to the 1st of July. Now, the 1st of July, it hits the same point as the 24th. So if you walked along the pathway with the Jupiter Saturn that got a bit lost in the shadows of the pathway, they'll hook back up again. They'll say, hi, nice to meet you. We found you in the darkness of the shadow on the 1st of July. So your mindset will say, right, clearly I'm looking at Saturn the divorce, the finances, the reproductive needs, the tax, the money, the third parties. I'm ready to deal with it, or I've got an idea how I'm going to deal with that situation. On the other hand, your Cancer, your home, your real estate, you would have made a decision where you can find safety, where you can find security, and as you come out of that retrograde, it will have a more clearer concept. Around about the 17th of July is when we're out of the shadow of the other side, and the green light is go, go, go on a stronger level, and so many planets will be changing. Saturn will be leaving, going forwards, so you'll have that momentum in that side. You'll be having Jupiter going into Leo, so you can already feel the push that's coming. So in a nutshell, if you can understand what I've explained about the retrograde, it is very much house and home related. It is very much reproductive thoughts and needs, but again, a lot of you are looking at, do I move? I'm unsure. Have I got the money? What about my parents if I move? What about my family? So the Mercury retrograde will take you down that path, back over, like a rotating record. When you get to the 17th of June onwards, for the remainder to the 1st of July, your thought pattern will kick in, your ideas will come in. You know, you might get a gift of money or get some help along with some of the aspects that are coming in June. But the Mercury retrograde is about going back, walking that path of the past, that thought, that people. And as you walk that path, it's about going over some old ground. So it's not really a time of action, but it will bring in some surprises, new ideas, new thoughts. You'll really be gearing up in June, but I hope this little bit of a video has given you some hindsight. So we're on, you know, we're still in May when I'm recording this, but just to let you know, for those that have mentioned about property, I'm not sure, I don't know what's happening. I don't think anyone will. I think it's very property and family related, because this is the last and final chapter while Jupiter is in Cancer to the 16th, 17th of July. This is like your greatest sort of 7 weeks of dealing with homes, pushing that thought. But I'll say push it in your mind, write it all down. You never sign anything in a Mercury retrograde. You never make big decisions. There can be delays in your travel, your transport. It has a delayed action, but it makes you go round that road bush